Two brothers. Same city. Same paycheck. Same month. Marcus walked into a dealership on a Saturday morning, spent 2 hours negotiating, and left feeling like he crushed it. He got $4,000 off the sticker price. He told everyone at work on Monday. His brother Kevin walked into a different dealership the very next day for the exact same type of car. He didn't negotiate as hard. He just wanted to get it done. He actually paid $1,200 less than Marcus in total. Same income. Same month. Same type of car. How is that even possible? Because Marcus was playing the wrong game. He won the battle on the sales floor and lost the war in a back room he didn't even know existed. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what that back room is, what happens inside it, and the step-by-step strategy that means you never get played by a dealership again. Stay with me. Because by the end of this video, the way you think about buying a car will never be the same. Let's start with what most people focus on when buying a car. The sticker price. You walk in, you see a number on the window. Maybe it says $34,500. Your job as the buyer feels simple: get that number as low as possible, right? Here's what most people do. They go home, they Google the invoice price. That's what the manufacturer charges the dealership for the car. Let's say it's $31,800. Now you have your target. You go in, you negotiate hard, and maybe you land at $32,000. You think, I only paid $200 above invoice. I basically got dealer cost. I won. You didn't win. That $200 above invoice, that's just what's visible to you. It's the only number in the entire transaction that you're actually allowed to see. Because here's the truth. The invoice price is not the dealership's real cost. It's a number designed to make you feel like you're getting close to the bottom. But the real bottom is way, way lower, thanks to a series of hidden financial arrangements between the manufacturer and the dealership. Let me walk you through exactly what those are. Layer 1. The holdback. Every time a dealership sells a car, the manufacturer sends them a secret payment after the sale. It's called a holdback. This is typically 2 to 3% of the total sticker price. On a $34,500 car, that's $690 to $1,035 sent directly to the dealership after you've already driven home. You'll never see this on any paperwork. Not on Edmunds. Not on Kelley Blue Book. Not on TrueCar. It doesn't exist anywhere in the consumer-facing world. But it's very real, and it's why a dealership can tell you they're barely breaking even at invoice and still be perfectly profitable. Layer 2. Manufacturer cash incentives. If a car manufacturer overproduces a specific model, maybe they misjudge demand or a new model is coming, they need to clear that inventory fast. So they pay dealerships a bonus for every unit of that model they sell. This bonus is invisible to you. You'll never know if the car you're looking at has a $500, $1,000, or even $2,000 manufacturer cash incentive attached to it. The dealership knows. You don't. Layer 3. The volume staircase bonus. Here's one that changes the entire dynamic of when you should buy. Dealerships don't just earn on each individual car. They earn more per car when they hit certain sales thresholds within a set period, usually a month or a quarter. It works like a staircase. Sell 40 cars, you get one bonus level. Sell 50, you jump to the next. Hit 60, the payout multiplies across your entire inventory for that period. This is why, and pay attention here, dealerships become significantly more flexible on price toward the end of the month. It's not generosity. It's math. One more sale might push them into a bonus tier worth tens of thousands of dollars. So when should you buy? The last 3 days of the month. Always. Layer 4. Regional dealer incentives. If a particular region of the country is experiencing slow sales, maybe there's economic pressure, heavy competition, or a local market downturn, The manufacturer can step in and offer dealerships in that specific region extra money to move cars. You'll never know if your region qualifies. But the dealership will. Layer 5. Floor plan assistance. When a car arrives at a dealership lot, the dealership has to pay for it, typically with a short-term loan called floor plan financing. That loan has interest. And in many cases, the manufacturer covers part or all of that interest cost. This means the dealership's actual holding cost is lower than you'd ever calculate. They're subsidized at a level you can't access. Layer 6. Customer satisfaction bonuses. Finally, there are performance-based payments tied to customer satisfaction scores, brand compliance metrics, and service department quality. These aren't tied to your specific transaction, but they're a consistent flow of income from manufacturer to dealership that further cushions their margins. So let's add this up. Before you even finish signing a single document, the dealership has already generated profit from holdback, manufacturer incentives, volume bonuses, regional programs, and floor plan savings, all invisible to you. And here's the twist. Even if you somehow knew every single one of these numbers and used them in your negotiation, you'd still be missing the biggest profit center of the entire transaction. You shake hands. The deal is done. You think the hard part is over. Then someone walks you down a hallway into a smaller, quieter office. There's a desk, a computer, a friendly person in a nice suit who says they just need to handle some paperwork. This is the finance and insurance office, the F&I office, and it is the single most profitable room in any car dealership in America. The person sitting across from you isn't a clerk. They're not just processing forms. They are the highest commissioned salesperson in the entire building, and they are very, very good at what they do. Let me show you the numbers, and these come from actual public financial filings from large dealership groups like AutoNation, Lithium Motors, and Penske Automotive, companies with hundreds of locations that are legally required to publish their financials. The average F&I profit per vehicle, $2,400 to $2,900 per car, on top of the sales floor profit. Here's exactly where every dollar of that comes from. If you're financing your car, the interest rate you pay isn't purely what the bank or lender requires. The dealership marks it up. Here's how it works. The lender approves you at, say, 5.5% based on your credit score. The dealership tells you your rate is 6.9%. That 1.4% difference? That's called the loan reserve. And it goes straight to the dealership. Across a standard 60-month loan on a $32,000 car, that extra percentage point can cost you $1,200 to $1,800 in additional interest over the life of the loan. The dealership collects the first $600 to $800 of that upfront from the lender as a finder's fee. And here's the part most people miss. You have every right to ask what rate the lender actually approved you at. Most people never ask. They hand you a glossy brochure. It lists everything covered: engine, transmission, electrical systems. It sounds comprehensive. It feels like protection. What they don't highlight is what's not covered, and the specific conditions under which claims can be denied. Extended warranties can be valuable, but the markup is enormous. The actual cost of providing that warranty to the company? A fraction of what you're paying. The dealership's profit margin on an extended warranty, $700 to $1,000 per vehicle. This is negotiable. Almost no one negotiates it. This one is actually worth understanding properly, because unlike some F&I products, gap insurance addresses a real financial risk. Here's the problem it solves. Cars depreciate fast. The moment you drive off the lot, your car might be worth $3,000 to $4,000 less than what you paid. If you financed it with a low down payment and your car gets totaled, your insurance company pays current market value, not what you owe on the loan. That difference is called the gap, and you're responsible for paying it out of pocket. Gap insurance covers that difference. The product itself makes sense if you're financing with less than 20% down. But you can buy the exact same coverage from your own auto insurance provider for significantly less. The dealership version comes with a $250 to $400 profit margin built in. Shop your own insurer first. Paint sealant, fabric protection, wheel coverage, key replacement, tire protection. Each one feels minor. $199 here, $299 there. But they stack, and each one has a profit margin that ranges from negligible cost to pure margin. The paint sealant, in particular, is one of the highest margin products in the F&I office. The actual product applied to your car costs almost nothing. The price you pay is almost entirely profit. Now we get to the part that most people just accept without question, because it's just fees. Documentation fee, also called a doc fee. They charge you for printing your contract and entering your information into their system. Profit, $400 to $650. Electronic registration and title filing markup. Your vehicle registration has a fixed government cost. The dealership marks it up. Profit, $40 to $90. Temporary license plate, the paper tag on your rear window until your real plates arrive. Profit, $20 to $50. Digital contracting fee, profit, $10 to $30. None of these are huge individually. Combined, they're another $700 to $800 in profit generated entirely by paperwork. The total F&I picture. Add it all up. Loan reserve, $600 to $800. Extended warranty, $700 $1,000. Gap insurance, $250 $400. Protection add-ons, $100 $300. Documentation fees, $700 $800. Total F&I profit, $250 $300 per car. And remember, Marcus thought the negotiation was over when he walked into that room. Now let's talk about Kevin, Marcus's brother. Kevin didn't want to deal with financing. He'd saved up, had the cash, and walked into the dealership ready to make a clean deal. He said, "I'm paying cash. What's your best price?" He thought that gave him power. Real, undeniable leverage. Here's what the dealership heard. "I am about to remove $2,400 to $3,000 of profit from your F&I office. No loan reserve, no financing products, no interest markup." So the dealership did what any business would do when one revenue stream disappears. They made up the difference somewhere else. They became much less flexible on the purchase price. They held firmer on add-ons. By the time Kevin drove home in that car, the same model, same year, same dealership as Marcus, he'd paid $1,200 more on the sticker price. But here's the twist that makes Kevin's story interesting. Kevin's car, over 5 years, he paid exactly what he paid. No interest, no loan reserve, no monthly payments. Marcus, even though he paid less up front, he's paying 6.9% interest on a 60-month loan. By the time he makes his last payment, he'll have paid $3,100 more than Kevin in total interest, plus $600 to $800 in loan reserve that went straight to the dealership. So who actually won? Kevin. But only because he happened to dodge the F&I office products and paid attention to the loan math. The real lesson? It's not about cash versus financing. It's about knowing the system well enough to use it in your favor, regardless of how you pay. Here's something most buyers don't realize. Dealerships have a built-in system to figure out if you're a cash buyer before you ever say a word. Detection point 1. The clipboard. The moment you walk in, before you meet a salesperson, someone hands you a form. Name, contact info, car of interest, and, buried in the middle, a question about whether you plan to pay cash or finance, and whether you have a trade-in. It feels like registration. It's intelligence gathering. Detection point 2. The credit check. About 2/3 of the way through the negotiation, The salesperson tells you they need to run a quick credit check. They frame it as routine, just to confirm you'd qualify if you wanted to finance. What they're really doing is confirming your financing intent and locking you into that category, so the F&I manager knows exactly what products to pitch. Detection Point 3. The loan application. Before you even enter the F&I office, your loan application may already be partially filled out. By this point, you've confirmed your financing intent 2 or 3 times without ever formally committing. Once you're labeled a cash buyer, your negotiating leverage shrinks at every stage. The dealership mentally removes the F&I profit they expected and adjusts the price accordingly. So what do you actually do with all of this? Here is the exact, step-by-step strategy, broken down simply. Step 1. Walk in as a financing buyer, regardless of how you plan to pay. Don't mention cash. Don't mention your budget. Don't mention your trade-in. Yet. You are a financing buyer until you decide otherwise. This one decision keeps you in the high leverage category for the entire sales floor negotiation. Step 2. At the clipboard, write undecided on the payment method. When they ask how you plan to pay, write undecided or leave it blank. If they push, say you're comparing a few financing options. This is true. You are. Step 3. Negotiate the purchase price aggressively. With the dealership expecting to recoup margin in the F&I office, they'll give you more room on the purchase price than they'd give a known cash buyer. Use that room. Counter low. Take your time. Know the invoice price going in. Know the holdback exists. And always shop 2-3 dealerships before committing to one. End of month PEC's your best negotiating window. Use it. Step 4. Enter the F&I office with a list. Walk into that back office knowing the margin on every product. Extended warranty, $700, $1,000 markup. Negotiate it or decline. Gap insurance. Check your auto insurer's rate first. It's almost always cheaper. Paint sealant and add-ons. These are almost pure margin. Decline unless you genuinely want them. Documentation fee. Ask if it's negotiable. In many states it is. You don't have to buy anything in that office. And for what you do want, negotiate. The F&I manager has flexibility they'll never volunteer. Step 5. Read the loan contract line by line. Before you sign, find the APR on the contract. If it's higher than the rate you discussed, ask why. Ask what rate the lender approved you at directly. You have a right to that information. Look for 2 things specifically. No loan origination fee. No prepayment penalty. If both are clear, proceed. Step 6. Pay off the loan early if you have the cash. Sign the loan. Drive home. Pay it off within the first 30 to 60 days before meaningful interest accumulates. You secured the financing buyer price. You avoided the cash buyer price penalty. And you paid almost 0 interest because you cleared the loan immediately. This strategy only works if there's no prepayment penalty and no origination fee. Confirm both before you sign. If either exists, run the math. In most cases, the upfront savings still outweigh the fees. But always verify. Marcus negotiated hard and felt great, but he gave back most of his gains in the F&I office without even realizing it. Kevin paid cash and thought he had power, but the dealership took that power away before he sat down to negotiate. Neither of them knew what was happening behind the scenes. But now you do. You know the 6 invisible profit layers built into every car sale before the paperwork even starts. You know what happens in the F&I office, where the real money changes hands. You know why cash is king is actually the wrong strategy at a dealership, and you know the exact 6 steps to use the system the way it was designed, just in your favor instead of theirs. The sales floor is theater. The F&I office is the real game. Now you know both. If this video showed you something that changes how you approach your next car purchase, hit subscribe. Every week, we break down the hidden financial math behind the decisions that cost Americans thousands of dollars and show you exactly how to keep more of your money. See you in the next one.